Joining me now to discuss, Republican Congressman from Illinois, Adam Kinzinger. He sits, of course, on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, great to have you here.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
So the president, he did a bunch of interviews overnight, but in one of his interviews overnight, he said this about North Korea. He said there's a chance that we could end up having a major conflict with North Korea. Absolutely, says the president. Congressman, when you hear that, you think what?
Well, look, I mean, it's frightening to hear it. I think the president's actually correct. And if you look at where we're at right now, North Korea in a nuclear position is exactly where we spent years building a Iran nuclear agreement, the JPOA, to prevent Iran from getting there. So North Korea is where we're trying to stop Iran from going. Have nuclear weapons. Every missile test, every atomic test, they get better at that, and they're perfecting their intercontinental ballistic missile technology, which, by the way, threatens not just our allies. That would actually threaten the mainland United States. So it's a very serious situation. A military strike is the next to worst option. The worst option is allowing, North Korea to get a intercontinental ballistic missile they can put nukes on.
So with that in mind, Congressman, the Secretary of State said in an interview of his own with NPR that the United States is open to direct talks with North Korea. I mean, set aside the fact that this is in direct contradiction to what the White House and the Vice President said just last week. What do you think of that possibility?
Well, I think when the timing's right, it should be a possibility. Ultimately, we want to get to where North Korea does not have nuclear weapons, to where we have a denuclearized Korean peninsula. That time for direct talks is not now. We have tried that in the past, and each time it's failed. So what you're actually seeing play out in real time is how military pressure, a military instrument of power option, can be used to back the diplomatic instrument of power option, because when you don't have a credible threat of force, it is almost impossible to get a good deal with an adversary unless they actually fear you could use that. So I don't think there's any sprint by this administration for military action in North Korea, but what they're making very clear is that that is a possibility if we don't see some diplomatic success.
Listen here to what the president said about the North Korean leader specifically, Kim Jong-un. Listen to this.
He's 27 years old. His father dies. Took over a regime. So say what you want, but that's not easy, especially at that age. And I'm not giving him credit or not giving him credit. I'm just saying that's a very hard thing to do. As to whether or not he's rational, I have no opinion on it. I hope he's rational.
There's a couple things there, Congressman. I mean, when you heard that, do you think that the president is expressing some kind of sympathy for Kim Jong-un? I mean, you've literally called Kim Jong-un literally crazy before.
He is, yeah. Now, I don't know if he's expressing sympathy. I think he's making the point that, yeah, I guess rising to power as a dictator of a country may be a tough job. That doesn't mean Kim Jong-un is a good person. In fact, he's quite evil. In terms of the rational thing, I think Kim Jong-un absolutely is crazy, but that doesn't mean he doesn't think in rational terms. And I think what he's thinking right now is, if I get nuclear weapons, I'll be in the nuke club. Well, he has nuclear weapons now, but if I have the ability to deliver it, I'll be in this club, I'll be protected. So he's rationalizing the reason to get, but his behavior is irrational and crazy. And you think about, saying a comment like, we're going to have a super mighty strike against the United States. Sane people don't say things like super mighty strikes.
You just did. Just telling. No, just kidding, Congressman. Let me ask you this real quick, because we have to go. Leadership has announced that there's no votes on health care this week. The latest CNN vote count has you as undecided. Has anything changed for you?
No, still there. We're working through the bill. There were changes. We just saw the amendment a few days ago, and I want to make sure, I think, when you're talking about a sixth of the economy, you have to take your time and figure out where to go. So I'm still there, and hopefully I'll have a decision at some point soon.
All right, Congressman, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. And for all of our viewers, just an update from the House floor, as the Congressman will know. The House just had their vote. They did give their stamp of approval on that stopgap short-term spending measure to make sure the